Look, many of you believed idol worshippers were terribly deceived in religion and work. Many of you even believed these pagans and worshiping pagan gods, and the Greeks worshiping Greek gods, and the Romans worshiping Roman pagan gods, and the paganists were terribly deceived and were never saved for any life after death, and were not saved for any life after death, and were terribly deceived. Many of you did get it. Different pagan religions, were false to terribly false. Many of you believed Roman Catholicism was a terribly false religion, and it was closer to the way, and it really contorted and twisted and really did things to early Christianity, and terribly tampered with what we have with current Bibles, what are almost actually worth less than nothing. Current Bibles, what are really Roman Catholic Bibles, the Old New Testament, are really worth less than nothing. They do additional damage to good. Okay? And then we had Michael, handling the Old New Testament, and for over 6,000 years, the angel Michael was handling things, and Gabriel and different angels. There has been a change now, and these angels did not get enough through to even the prophetess of Ellen G. White. They should have been pounding her to get through additional truth to after what happened with current scriptures and Bibles, or the Roman Catholic Bibles, what we have. Should have pounded her enormously to get through additional truth, including how this coming was going to happen, and even when, and a few additional things to get even the Seventh-day Adventists to understand this better, instead of being this subtle, this enormously subtle, trying to get through subtly, including with little messages like calling the native Indians natives for the country of the nativity, doing the native California trend for the state of the nativity, and doing all these subtle things. And therefore this coming was not set up properly by Michael. Things were not handled properly by Michael. Michael also whitewashed enormously God and the angels, to the point where they were whitewashed too much. And now Ted is having to get over these hurdles, because they're saying Ted did this and this and this, and we think we do believe or understand Ted did this sin and this sin and this sin, therefore he can't be Jesus, he can't be God. And he is, whether you like it or not. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm tired of apologizing for myself. If I'd have known for my entire life who I was, instead of for this coming, it being a big cover up and cover down, and to quote unquote test Ted and test the system and test sin, and to run many tests and to see what would happen with Ted, with his genetics, with maximum control from up and maximum possession from down. Let's see what Ted does. Let's see how much Ted sins. Let's test with Ted, and then he's the judge, and then he's going to have to judge. So Ted would have understood for his entire life who he was. He would have probably been additionally good. He would have tried to be, additionally good. The first resurrection is going to get hit hard. Tedians, you really need to be Tedians. You really need to be enormously Tedian. You need to be enormously Tedian to even get your ancestors saved at this point in time, because from up to Y2K, Ted did not have the results that he was looking for with this coming. He definitely did not have the results of the first coming, and definitely the current Tedians don't seem to have the courage the early Christians had. They don't have the bravery. They don't seem to really be, taking the risk the early Christians took. First resurrection is going to be hit hard. Ted is not believing he's going to deliver the fire properly during his lifetime, or do the apocalypse properly during his lifetime, or get it anywhere near this either. Therefore, it's going to depend on how enormously Tedian you are and how enormously you do things for Ted, and therefore yourselves, and therefore your ancestors. I'm not going to say the Seventh-day Adventist Church was, the Seventh-day Adventist Church was a remnant church, but I'm not going to say simply because it was a remnant church, all these people are saved for the first resurrection. What were Seventh-day Adventists? I'm not going to do it. You have to become Tedian enough to get your ancestors saved. Now, I won't call it purgatory because I don't believe in Roman Catholicism. It is not purgatory, but it's just basically what the current living do moving forward affects their dead ancestors. This is all I'm going to say. It affects them. Just like, Eve and Adam affected the entire human race. We have a long tradition sometimes of judging many for what a few have done, or even punishing, rewarding, blessing, punishing, and cursing many for what a few have done. We have a long history and tradition of this too.